What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another Total Chaos. This is a college edition. It's going down on Saturday, September the 27th. I'm your host, Allie Burns from Picks and Parlays. With me today, I've got two expert handicappers from the Picks and Parlays site, and on Total Chaos, I pit them head to head. I'm giving them 5 games that happen on Saturday, the 27th, and they're going to tell me if they're going over or under the total. Whoever comes back or whoever gets the most correct comes back next week as the Total Chaos champ. Before we get started, everybody like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. Okay, so both of my Total Chaoses have been crazy. NFL Total Chaos went 3 weeks with a tie before I could get a winner. Now, Scott Reichel, you're coming back. You had a win against Sniper West, and then you went 5-0 last week against Dre Rich. So congratulations on the sweep, Scott Reichel. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. How's your neck feeling?
It's a bit sore. No offense to my previous competition, but I take the show seriously. So you got to try to stay on top. And right now, Rye, watch out. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's just it. Tom Mackey, how do you say your I always call you Rye Cape. I don't think I've ever heard your last name.
Yeah, Rye Cape, fine. But yeah, Tom Macrina.
Tom Macrina, you are very well versed in the world of Total Chaos. You've been on the show many times, so I'm really excited to have you back. How are things going?
Yeah, doing well. I guess it's unfortunate that I have to go up against the Mount Rushmore of Total Chaos, but we'll see what happens.
Hey, there's still 3 other spots on that mountain. You could grab one of them as well, all right?
That's right. I'm confident.
All right, so let's get this party started. Now, there has been a little bit of line movement throughout these 5 games, so I'm going to use the oddslogic.com page to tell you where it's all going. We're going to start it off with Indiana at Iowa. It opened at a 50.5. Current total, it's moving down. It's a 48.5. Scott Reichel, you're the champ, so you go first. Over or under 48.5 when Indiana takes on Iowa.
So I'm actually going to back the line movement here. I'm going to go with the under. It sounds dangerous because Indiana offensively has been going crazy lately. Defense, though, has been good, but I actually like the lack of pace for both teams. Indiana ranks 125th in pace. Iowa does rank 97th, so I do see a lot of play clock running, a lot of clock running. No, Iowa, not exactly great at throwing the ball. They want to run the ball with Gronowski and the ground game. I could see a lot of chewing clock going on in this game. Indiana, though, has been great defensively. They've allowed 19 combined points over the past 3 games. Iowa did have a shootout against Rutgers, which was kind of unexpected, but that was earlier in the week. They have some extra prep time to get ready for Indiana. It's going to be a game in Kinnick. Stuff to play there. I think this will go under the number. I think Iowa will try to make this game just a war physically, and I can see them trying to keep Indiana's offense off the field. I'll go with the under in this game. I think it'll end somewhere in the mid-40s.
All right. Mr. Rye Cape, do you agree or disagree with the under in Indiana at Iowa?
No, I'm actually going against the market on this one. As we know, Indiana put up 63 last week against Illinois. They probably could have put up 83, to be honest. But they might be beating up on bad teams. I'm not high on Illinois. Their toughest opponent was ODU. That was in week 1. They scored 27, which is fine. As Scott said, the Iowa has the extra day of prep. I think that helps. They played well against Rutgers. They threw on them. I don't think Rutgers had a very good defense. But I think this Iowa offense is going to be able to move the ball. We have Mendoza on the other side. He's now the Heisman favorite. He could get out of trouble with his legs. He's not a runner. But I think Gronowski, he's a field general. I think both teams have weapons. I think we're going to see some big plays here. I'm not going to discount either defense, but I think we just need Iowa to score 20 here. We get over this number. And also 7 of the last 10 Indiana-Iowa games have gone over the number. So I like the over.
All right, we're already off to a disagreement. That's okay. Somebody has got to win the game. Let's move on to Tennessee at Mississippi State. This one is going the other way. It opened at a 62.5, moving up to a 63.5. Right, Cape, you start this one off.
Sure. Yeah, I'm going against the market on this one, too. This isn't the Mississippi State team you're used to. They're an opportunistic defense. They create turnovers. They have a stingy secondary, and they play well at home. I understand Tennessee has a great offense. They're balanced. I do like Joey Aguilar. But they have a strong group of running backs. I think they're going to look to run out the clock here. Defensively, they did look vulnerable against Georgia, but I expect Mississippi State to attack on the ground as well with Fluff Bothwell. I like Blake Shatton. He can run too. I expect a grinder game. Long drives, kill turnovers. Mississippi State's going to limit the Vols' possessions. I like the under here.
All right, Rachel, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, we're going to disagree again. I'm going to go with the over, mainly based on Tennessee. Yeah, Tennessee has been kind of lighting up offensively as expected under the Heupel system, but they've scored at least 41 points in every game this season. Mississippi State, though, has also been good offensively. They have scored at least 34 in 3 of the first 4 games. Tennessee, though, and Mississippi State, said the Indiana-Iowa game featured 2 teams that go very slowly. These teams really go hyperspeed. I expect to see a bunch of possessions here. Tennessee does rank 3rd in the entire nation in pace, and you're looking at Mississippi State ranking 17th. I see a bunch of snaps, just simply put. I think both teams will try to go quickly. I think you might see a couple of fast scoring drives, some big plays. But Tennessee's defense hasn't really wowed me. We saw the game against Georgia. They kind of got lit up there in the back end. I think Mississippi State hasn't really seen an offense this talented for Tennessee. I know that they faced off against Arizona State, who's been okay so far this season, 8-20 in that game. Besides that, they have South Miss, Alcorn State, and Northern Illinois. Yeah, good luck with that. I think Tennessee's going to give them a hard time on Saturday. Give me the over. If Tennessee ends up surviving the environment with all the cowbells, I think they could score 40 and change. Give me the over in this game, though. I think the line movement does seem correct to me.
All right. You've got the over. Okay, so up next, typically this sounds like a really exciting game, but, coaches have changed, players have left, but Alabama is taking on Georgia. This one opened at a 52.5. It's pretty much sticking around there. I see some 52s out there. So a little bit of line movement coming down to the under. Rachel, how are you going to play this one?
I feel like most people expect these games to be wars, where it comes down to like 17, 14, 24 to 20. I'm going over, actually, for this game. I think you're looking at Alabama's offense, which has woken up after the Florida State fiasco in the opener. And you're looking at Simpson, who's been really good at quarterback for the last couple of weeks. But they dropped 38 on Wisconsin. I don't think Wisconsin's that good, but still 38 points is nothing to scoff at. Scored 73 against UL Monroe. They do stink. But Georgia, defensively, was not very good against Tennessee. They're pretty lucky to win that game. They gave up 41 points in that game. Georgia's defense might be overrated, at least based on what I've seen so far this season. As for the quarterback play, I think it's fine. I'm not a big Stockton guy, but I think he's serviceable. And this Bama defense we've seen not look that sharp. Florida State kind of ran all over them. I think you can see Georgia have some success. I'll go over 52.
All right, Rye, what's your take on this one?
I hope I don't go over 5. Now, I'm on the under here. My issue is with Alabama. They really don't have a run game, so they're going to be one-dimensional here. Both teams are coming off a bye, gives extra prep time. I think for Georgia, that helps the defense. I just feel like Bama has road issues. I understand Simpson's been good. I do like Gunnar Stockton, too, but I expect another SEC grinder, low scoring. Georgia's run game is going to wear down this front 7. I just think that Georgia's going to run all over them. And Alabama only has one way to go, and that's through the air. So I like the under.
And there you have it. All right. So 3 disagreements in 3 picks. That's okay. We've still got 2 more to go. Before we do that, guys, hit that like button and subscribe and ring the bell for notifications, if you please. That way we can keep all of this free content coming your way. All right. Okay. So up next, we're looking at my Oregon Duckies versus Penn State. This opened at 52.5. We've got it at a 51.5 now. Rye, how are you playing it?
Yeah, I like the under on this one. This is a rematch of the 2024 Big Ten championship game. Oregon won that one 45-37. What I like here is that this is the whiteout game. The atmosphere is going to be electric. We have college game day over there. I understand Oregon has been an explosive offense. I'm personally a Dante Moore fan. He seems to thrive in the system. They have a good O-line, balanced attack. They have playmakers. I get it. On the other side, you have PSU, veteran physical offense. They have a strong run game. I'm not a fan of Drew Alar. I do like Andy Kolnicki. He brings creativity. PSU has a great offensive line. I loved it that they picked up Jim Knowles as a defensive coordinator. They're going to have speed on the defensive side. I think this is going to be a defensive slugfest. I think Penn State's going to run the ball, and all Drew Alar is going to have to do is the short screen passes that he likes to do. I like the under here.
All right. Scott Reichel, agree or disagree?
Yeah, we agree for this game. I am going to go under for this one at 51.5. Penn State defensively might be the best defense in the country. Maybe. You could argue them or Ohio State, but they're up there. They're really, really good. So far this season, they've allowed 17 points in the entire season. 17 points. This defense is really, really good. You're looking at Oregon, though. They've allowed less than 15 points in all 4 games this season as well. I think both teams are very solid defensively. I do still have questions about Aller, who in big games tends to not show up at all, and I think that could be a problem for him in this one. I'm sure, as Ryan knows, being at least close to the program location-wise. I think he knows that Aller's not a guy you really trust. That's why he's talking about swing passes. They don't trust him to throw the ball downfield against good teams. I think Aller's going to struggle in this one. I think Oregon might win the game in general, but I see it being a physical battle. I think it's a one-possession game late. Give me some type of 24-20 final. Quack, quack. Give me Oregon in this one.
Quack, quack, baby. I love Oregon. I used to live in Portland. I root for Oregon. Marcus Mariota is the sole reason why I give any craps about football. And that's coming from a person from Texas. Okay?
He won last week in the NFL.
I know. But in college, he was just insane. And I worked at a sports bar, so I saw every single game. And I just fell in love with some Marcus Mariota action. And I was like, okay, I get football. I want to be a part of this sport. Okay, so last game, final matchup. It's BYU at Colorado. It opened at a 47. It's moved to a 48.5. So that's a full 1.5 jump there. Scott Reichel, do BYU and Colorado go over or under 48.5 points?
So I thought this game was the hardest out of the 5 that you chose because I really don't know what to think of Colorado. Because I don't think they're very good. They've switched quarterbacks a couple of times. Salter's now behind center again. I ended up going over 48.5 here. Colorado defensively, not very good. I give up 36 to Houston. Gave up 20 to Wyoming. Wyoming scored 10 points against Akron and 6 points against Utah, and they gave up 20. So I don't think this Colorado defense is any good. BYU, though, I think is a very solid team. Bachmeier hasn't really had to do much at the quarterback spot because physically they can just dominate you in the trenches and just run the ball down your throat. I don't think Colorado can stop them. I think BYU can actually do pretty well here. Salter's got mobility. I think he can score points too. BYU is averaging 6.5 yards per carry. Colorado is averaging or allowing 194.8 rushing yards per game. Ranks 102 in the nation. Not a good run defense. I think BYU can run it down their throats. And on top of that, I think Colorado might be playing catch up from behind. 20 points to Wyoming, though. I don't have any faith in this defense at all. Give me the over 48.5.
All right, you can have it. Rye, what do you say?
Yeah, I'm on the same side. This is another rematch of the Alamo Bowl last year. BYU crushed them 36-14. What impressed me was last week, BYU traveled cross-country to ECU. That was supposed to be a sleepy spot. They dropped 34 on the road. This is their second consecutive road game. But just like Scott said, you don't know what this Colorado team is, but we know that their defense isn't good. Even some garbage points. I kind of feel like BYU could get close to this number by themselves. So I'm going over.
All right. We don't know Colorado, but we do know. We do know that BYU is going to beat their ass. Okay. Got it. All right, guys. Before we get to the recap, let me remind you to like and subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and let me introduce you to these two guys so you can let you know where you can find more of them after this show is over. Scott Reichel, tell the people who you are and what you're all about.
Yeah, so I'm Scott Reichel. You can find me over on Winners and Winers, also guest appearing on your show. Hopefully as champion again. We'll see if Rye can take the crown for me. Besides that, though, you can find me on SGPN doing a bunch of podcasts, NBA gambling podcast, WNBA gambling podcast, tennis gambling podcast, MLB gambling podcast. I do a prop show, too, for the NFL. Yeah, I don't sleep much, but I'm here. So there you go.
That's fair. All right, Rye Cape, tell the people what you're all about.
I'll tell you all about it next week. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
That's fine. I like the trash
me
talk. Bring it on. There we go. I like trash talk.
You can find me at all social media at RyCape. Of course, all my premium plays and picks and parlays. I put out a ton of free plays as well. So, yeah, go check that out. I cover pretty much every sport except for tennis, really.
And Scott Reichel has got you covered on tennis. Let me tell you what.
And Ellie has you covered on ping. Ellie has you covered on ping pong. So I guess we all balance out. Yeah.
It's table tennis, Scott.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah,
we're not a bunch of drunken bar kids in a dorm room in Wisconsin. All right. It's freaking table tennis.
No, that's beer. That's beer
pong. Did you go to Wisconsin?
Yeah, that's beer pong. You're mixing up your games.
Yeah, well, you know what? Either way, if the Russians play beer pong and they hang lines on it, I'll bet it.
Okay, me too.
Me too. I'll bet it. I'll take the action. Okay, so let's get that recap going. Hit that damn like button if you haven't already. Okay, a lot of bad language coming out of me today. Here we go. Indiana's at Iowa. It's a 48.5. We disagree. Scott Reichel goes under. Rye Cape goes over. Tennessee is at Mississippi State. It's 63.5. Scott Reichel goes over. Rye Cape goes under. We've got Alabama at Georgia. It's a 52. Reichel's going over. Rye Cape's going under. And the last two, we do agree. All right, so we've got Oregon at Penn State. They both agree it is going to go under 51.5. And then BYU at Colorado, 48.5. We both agree it goes over that total. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. We've got NFL Total Chaos out there, Thursday night football player prop drop, Friday night college football rapid fire. It's all out on the site, on the YouTube channel, on X, on all the social medias. So like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. I'll see you guys again next week when we crown a champ, a new champ, an old champ. I don't know. We're going to see what happens. Like I always say, may the best capper win.